And our final story today is about why women live longer and healthier lives than men. Globally, women outlive men by 5%. And it's been said that men don't outlive women due to their poor mental health and lifestyle. But now Japanese researchers claim to have scientific evidence that explains why women are winning the longevity race in the battle of the sexes. It all comes down to microscopic reproductive cells. Our next report explains.
Men and women are like apples and oranges in the vast orchard of human existence. And let's face it, the battle of the sexes is as old as time itself. Men and women differ in both physique and psyche, yet the comparisons and debates are never-ending. With each gender having its own set roles, the age-old question of who's better remains the elephant in the room. Take, for instance, the perpetual debates. Who whips up a better soufflé? Who can parallel park better? Whether it's women shattering the glass ceiling or men being branded as patriarchal oppressors, these discussions seem to go on and on. But in the vast ocean of gender comparisons, one question stands out. Who outlives whom? The answer is, drumroll please, women. And now, scientists may just have the scoop on why. It all boils down to the cells in our bodies, specifically our reproductive cells. Peek through a microscope and you'll see the stars of the show, the eggs and the sperms. These two, the biggest and the smallest cells respectively, are the unsung heroes of human reproduction. Japanese scientists, who are the Sherlocks of the scientific world, have discovered that reproductive cells hold the key to our lifespan. Their investigation involved the small turquoise killifish, a creature that hits puberty faster than a high school freshman and only lives for a few months. Despite its brief life, the killifish ages in a way that's eerily similar to humans. In their experiment, the Japanese team removed reproductive cells from the fish which would eventually become sperm or eggs, after which males and females started having identical lifespans. The removal of reproductive cells essentially leveled the playing field called life. The researchers said that having eggs gave females healthier tissues, and the lack of estrogen raised the risk of cardiovascular diseases in males. The conclusion was that there was enough evidence to conclude that sperm did in fact suppress lifetimes of males. It's already known that women live about 5% longer than men on a global scale. Various factors contribute to this gap. Young men are more likely to meet their maker through accidents or suicide, while women tend to lead healthier lifestyles.
Suicide every 2 hours, that there's 12 a day, there's 84 a week. That suicide is the single largest killer of men under 45. If you're an 18-year-old man in the UK, the most likely thing to kill you is you.
This life expectancy gap varies from country to country. In the UK, people born between 2020 and 2022 can expect to live 78.6 years if they're men and 82.6 years if they're women. Meanwhile, in Russia, men check out from Earth a whopping 13 years earlier than women. So the next time someone brings up the age-old debate of men versus women, remind them that, scientifically speaking, women have the upper hand in the longevity department. But whether it's cracking eggs or cracking the code of life, it seems that both genders bring something unique to the table. After all, in the grand symphony of life, every instrument has its part to play.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.
Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who's invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost. Fan of Italy's famous cuisine? Well, we are serving it with a side of diplomacy. As the G7 leaders gather in southern Italy, Vantage is taking you to the heart of the action. What's the agenda? Who is invited? And how is Italy preparing for it? Catch the special edition of Vantage throughout this week, only on Firstpost.